You ever find yourself in one of those arguments where you're just going in circles? You know the feeling. Maybe you're even using the same words, but you get this sinking feeling that you're not even talking about the same thing anymore. It's so frustrating, right? You're not debating the idea, you're just fighting about the words.
Well, what if I told you there's an ancient blueprint, a guide that's literally 2,500 years old for decoding exactly this kind of conflict? That's the journey we're going to go on right now. So here's our game plan. We'll start with the big question, why we argue. Then I'm going to pull back the curtain on our unique method for unlocking these ancient texts. After that, we'll break down the two concepts at the absolute heart of every argument, look at a 4-step blueprint for dealing with them, and wrap it all up with the single most important takeaway.
All right, let's set the stage. The problem we're tackling is universal and it is timeless. We are constantly talking past each other. We get stuck in these pointless disputes that just go absolutely nowhere. And it turns out we are not the first people to deal with this, not by a long shot. There's this text called the Kinti Sutta, and in it we find a story about monks who are getting into disagreements over their own teachings. But their teacher, the Buddha, he didn't just tell them, hey, stop arguing. No, he gave them a precise, analytical framework to figure out why they were arguing in the first place.
Now, to really get to the heart of this ancient wisdom, you can't just read a standard translation, you have to go deeper. And for that, we use a really special method we call the two-lens translation. It's how we unlock the hidden message in the text.
It's a 3-step process. First, we do a fresh, modern translation directly from the original Pali language. But we don't stop there. Second, and this is key, we go back to the text and analyze the linguistic roots of the words, like their original DNA, to uncover the author's true intent. And finally, we build a visual story, just like the one you're watching, to make that core message pop, to make it instantly clear. So what did this whole process reveal? Well, it uncovered two fundamental concepts that are, and I mean this seriously, at the very heart of every single argument you have ever had. And these two concepts are atta and banyanja. So think of atta as the deep, underlying meaning, the actual purpose of what you're trying to say. Banyanja, on the other hand, that's all the stuff on the surface. It's the specific words you choose, the phrasing, the lettering you use to get that meaning across.
Let's look a little closer at atha. When we dug into its linguistic roots, we found its original sense is goal or aim or purpose. So when you're communicating, the atha is the destination. It's the place you're trying to guide your listener to. It's the one core point you really want them to get.
Okay, and what about byanjana? Its root meaning is to adorn or to make clear. And this is such a brilliant way to think about it. Imagine the atha, the meaning is a gift. The byanjana is just the gift wrap, right? You can wrap the same exact gift in 1,000 different styles of paper with 1,000 different bows, but the gift inside doesn't change. The conflict starts when we start arguing about the wrapping paper instead of looking at the gift itself.
So let's get practical. The sutta takes these two concepts and builds them into a really clear 4-part blueprint for how to handle pretty much any disagreement.
And here they are. The text just maps out every possibility. When the meaning and words are both different. When the meaning is different but the words are the same. When the meaning is the same but the words are different. And, of course, when they're both the same. And for each one, there's very specific advice.
Okay, scenario 1 is the most straightforward. Your underlying goals, your atta, are different, and the words you're using, your byanjana, are also different. The advice here is simple. Just acknowledge that you fundamentally disagree. You're not on the same page, and that's okay. You can just let it be.
Now, this is where things get much, much trickier. Scenario 2 is where so many arguments live and die. It's when you're both using the exact same words like freedom or justice, but you mean completely different things by them. The advice here is to look past the vocabulary and realize the core meanings are in conflict. Again, don't waste your energy fighting on the surface. But this next one, scenario 3, this is the real game changer. This is the one we run into all the time. It's when your core meaning, your artha, is identical, but your phrasing, your byanjana, is totally different. You're both trying to drive to the same city, you're just describing different routes to get there.
And for this scenario, the text gives the most powerful advice of all. It basically says, look, this phrasing, it's a small thing. Don't fall into a dispute over something so minor. In other words, if the gift is the same, stop arguing about the gift wrap.
And finally, we've got the ideal situation. Scenario 4. The meaning is the same and the words are the same. The advice here couldn't be simpler. Just acknowledge that you're in complete agreement and move on. No fight necessary.
So what's the ultimate lesson from this entire ancient blueprint? It's not just some clever trick for winning arguments. It's really about a fundamental shift in your entire mindset.
See, the whole point of this framework is to get your ego out of the way. It teaches us that the goal of communication isn't to prove that your words are right. The goal is to work together to find the shared meaning, that shared ethol. It's a team sport, it's a collaborative search, not a battle. And the text goes even deeper. It says that if you do manage to help someone see that shared meaning, you shouldn't boast about it or take credit. You just say, hey, I heard this teaching and so I shared it. Creating understanding, as the text shows us, is a humble act. It's free from ego, free from self-promotion.
So I'll leave you with this one question. The next time you feel that heat rising in a disagreement, are you going to get stuck fighting over the wrapping paper, or are you going to pause and start searching for the gift inside, that shared meaning, that common goal that you're both actually trying to reach?